label is bad or good, just know it. Just, face that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's the facing. It takes such courage
Hmm.
to even take a moment, and whoever is listening to us right now, this is an experiment for you to even just try.
Yeah.
Just get your phone out, put a timer on for 1 minute,
Hmm.
and get in front of that mirror and see you just looking at you eye to eye in a mirror.
Yes.
See what arises for you.
Hmm.
How challenging that can be to just look at you for just 1 minute.
Mm. Very challenging, right? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
but when you think about, you said that, it made me think about just being quiet, having complete quietness by yourself. And
Hmm.
we live in this time where the music has to be on, or either the TV has to be on, or we have to be engaged on social media some kind of way, or we have to be talking to somebody. But just to be quiet and listen to yourself, take in everything that's around you and just like focus on that moment of quietness.
Hmm.
And I've talked to people that say, I can't take that quietness. Like I can't be quiet. And because too many things start rushing in, like when you're quiet. So that practice is clearing your mind. Who are you? What are you doing in that moment? Like who are you at this very quiet moment
Hmm.
without the
And
influence
how are you?
of.
And how are you being that person in that very quiet moment?
Hmm. Yeah. So I mean, I like quiet, because I had to learn how to just listen and hear what is being played in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can address those messages, but you can also like really focus on where you want to go, where you've been, not to dwell on things to be sad,
Hmm.
but to dwell on things to find solutions.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost like discerning versus I'm going to sit here, wallow in the pain, and then judge myself, criticize everything that is wrong in my life, everything that's going wrong in my situation, whoever is involved in that situation, all of that, all of those wonderful and helpful things, versus I'm gonna just sit here and really listen. What is, and I love when sometimes I hear people go, I want to know what's on my spirit right now.
Yes.
What's
Yeah.
my heart saying?
Yeah. And that's it. That's it. That's the piece. And one thing I stress to myself first, but I tell other people is when you have these moments, don't think about other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's them. That's
Mm-hmm.
their life, their decisions. Right now, just think about who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because healing starts with you. Like you have to heal in order to be good to someone else, in order to like be productive. It all starts with you and how you react and how you
Mm-hmm.
feel and how you're understanding yourself. Those are things that people can't give you. Like
Yeah.
people can tell you all day long, oh, you're this or you're that, or you did this, but you have to accept all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You get the choice in that moment to like accept who you are. Um, but it is focusing on what your abilities are, and how you feel and what you
Mm-hmm.
feel to help the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where it begins. No matter who did what, but if you think about it, you can think about where you were in that process that kind of contributed to whatever was going on. So that's where that healing starts. That's why it has to start with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. And it starts with those things that we mentioned earlier, the self-awareness, the self, and that requires even the courage just to sit still long enough for you to just notice what is arising without needing to run away or distract yourself through the usual technical babysitters. we're all still being babysat by these mechanical nannies
Yeah.
because
Like
we
that.
can come home, switch it on, and then we're dead quiet. Nobody's saying anything to anybody because we're all so busy in it.
Yeah.
But we're losing so much because as human beings, the only way we've survived and evolved is through connections, through tribes, through staying people. So here we are. I could be sitting right next to a loved one, and sometimes it's just literally send a text message. Can you please lift your head up because I'm sitting right here? Is it okay for us to have a conversation? I want to know how your day was. What is going on with you? Because I haven't seen you all day.
Right.
We've both been doing our own thing, most of the day. It would be so nice to just check in with you and to see how you are. And it's almost like we have to learn the art of conversation over again. So, and I heard you mention something, regarding restlessness, where some of us have actually forgotten how to even sit and rest.
Yeah.
Just to rest, because you have to be doing something. Either your fingers are doing something, or your body is doing something, or your legs are moving to go somewhere, whether you have an actual valid destination of did you really need to go there, but you never stop long enough to sit in that moment of silence, like you said, to be able to actually hear, what do I need right now? Do I need to jump into that car, drive to the supermarket, drive to the fast food place, and get, buy, and then come home, consume, and then pick up my phone. While I'm consuming the food, I'm also consuming more information. I'm consuming more things. Oh my goodness. When do I stop? When does it's not even I stop. When does all of that sensory input that my brain is taking in constantly, when do I give it a break?
That's it. If you slow down enough, then you get to listen. But if you never slow down, you're just constantly going all the way up until you put your head on the pillow to go to sleep. Now your brain is still full because it hasn't fully emptied. Now you have restless sleep. You go to bed, you're not really rested. Yeah, you wake up, you're not really rested because you had all this stuff on there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny. I had a recent conversation with one of my little gems going through their teen years. And I was like, okay, do you just want to go to do, because I love doing, meditations. And I was thinking about, okay, maybe we can go together to like a meditation retreat.
Yeah.
And they asked me, what would that be like? I was like, well, most of it will probably be gentle, quiet, and learning to just be still. I can't do it. I can't. What do you mean sit still? I can't do it. What do you mean sit still and silence? I was like, yes, no. In silence.
How long do I gotta be?
Exactly. That's it. It was like, how long do I have to be silent? I was like, well, if we do it 3 days, it'll be 3 days. And they were like, 3 days? So what happens if, I move something or I bang something? I was like, would there be a purpose of you banging something? Is there a purpose to creating noise? And they were like, that would be really uncomfortable. That was their response. And I felt my heart here actually ached a little. And I was like, oh my gosh, so actually resting is a skill. Learning to, yes, when we're babies, we know how to rest when we're little people in the world because we are so in tune with our own needs. We're in tune with, yes, it's egocentric, but I know who I am. I know what I need. I know what I feel. I know who I need to fulfill those needs in that moment. And I may not have the words, but I definitely know how to communicate my needs to you. To know. And then it's like as we grow up and we get to those points where all of these wonderful distractions come in, that we attach ourselves and say, look what I have. That means I am in like at this level in society. I'm here. This is what I have. They've actually pruned away our ability to have this skill. And it's now a skill that we need to learn and practice in order for it to develop. So when I was listening to this, I was like, oh my gosh, when did rest become a skill? I need to learn to develop.
Yeah.
And I don't even have the answer for that because I think I need to go back and sit down. When did you learn? Hannah, when did you actually learn to rest? Learn to rest, because I remember, some of my friends, when I had, graduated from university, and I had decided I want to change the world by going into law, and especially criminal law, And I remember sometimes sitting in lectures, and I was thinking, it's nap time. I want to have a nap right now. And if I couldn't get a nap, as soon as that lecture ended, I would go back to my room and I would literally have a nap. I had a nap. And I remember one of my loved ones asking me, is like, how do you do, you still nap? I was like, yes, because I can't do anything. Otherwise, my brain, I literally feel my brain is fuzzy. You talk to me, you allow me to have complex conversations. It's not happening because right now, the primary need is I need downtime. My system is saying it's time for us to shut down. So I never needed to think about, is this a skill until this conversation? I've just allowed myself over the years to give myself permission, whether I need to shut off from distractions and I turn off my phone and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have 3 hours of technology free. Or I have those moments where I'm thinking, I just want to have a good feel, zone out. And then I binge watch on some kind of romantic Korean K-drama, historical drama. But at least I'm aware of my need, and then I make the choice of how to meet that need. Somebody else might come and judge and like, oh, you've been sitting down watching that, that I don't even do you not even understand the language? You're reading the subtitles and you're watching it for 2 hours. What are you getting out of it? And I'm just thinking the same thing that you get out of rushing to, I don't know, an hour of Pilates. But for me right now, I don't need my nervous system to be in another space with other nervous system who are carrying their own stuff. I just want to sit here with this fantasy world and just escape in it for a moment.
Yes. No, I get it. And you and the main thing you said, self-awareness. You're aware that you need that. And that's what I like to think of as when you're talking about healing and when you're talking about being productive, and healing, then you do need that space to refresh. And that looks different for everybody. So we all have, some people it's, I need to just go for a walk out in nature. I just need to block everything out for a little while. And me, sometimes it looks like I need to watch The Office, or I need to watch British comedy, I need to, and I have a DVD that I just play over and over. Yeah, I've seen these episodes, but every time it brings me joy just to watch them, just to see those interactions. And it's like, I don't have to think about this. It's always funny, it's always good, and it's relaxing.
Mhm.
So I need that space to do that. Will everybody like it? No. Or everybody get it? No. But it's just my space to just, okay, I can relax with that. And then I can get back out there and do
Mhm.
what I need to do, and be focused on it.
Mhm.
And it's giving to yourself. It's self-care. It's a form of it. And, you have to do that, especially I think when you're in this giving um, field.
Mhm.
Even, you don't think about how much stuff that does go through your mind. Like, how can I help them? How can I support them? I'm giving of myself all the time and caring for people. And how can I care for myself? Else you just run
Mhm.
tired and you're just like, well, let me just keep going. I got to keep going there and going there and going here and doing this. And then sometimes you can be productive with that. Sometimes you're just not really productive enough. You're just going through the motion of doing something because you
Yeah.
feel like that's what you need to do. But I think that that's key, is taking care of yourself and
Yeah.
being self-aware of, okay, you know what I need right now? I need this, you know.
Yeah.
And there's always the argument, is that good for you? Is it harming anyone? Is it harming me? Is it, then you do your checks, because there are
Mhm.
people who will make that argument about everything. But, for me, I wouldn't say I'm religious. I would say I have a personal relationship
Mhm.
with God, and I know I'm not going to go against something that hinders that for me. So,
Mhm.
yes, this is productive for me to do this, and everybody has to go within themselves and feel out what that is for them. Like, do they feel like what they're doing is violating something, in their self-care,
Mhm.
self-aware moment? Um, so I think that's important, when you think about the
Yeah.
whole picture.
And I love what you just mentioned, that is it violating something within me? Is it violating something inside of me? Because, some people may say, well, having a bottle of wine and getting drunk, that, that is me stress relieving.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, it goes back, is it harming me? And is
Mm-hmm.
it causing harm to somebody else? If you can sincerely and genuinely say no to that with all honesty, heart, hand on heart,
Yeah.
that you're not having, it's not impairing the way that you are functioning in your daily, in your daily life, that you're
Mhm.
not going to wake up in the morning, be completely sick, and you're not able to go to work anymore, even go to school and function.
Yeah.
That you're having loved ones saying, hey, I think that's a problem, and that's causing arguments and discord within your relationships,
Mm.
even financial
Yes.
distress. And yeah,
Yeah.
some people think, oh yeah, self-care needs to cost something. No, it does not. That's not self-care. That's
Mhm.
self-consuming and draining the
Yeah.
resources that you need, that
Mhm.
then later on you're going to have those inner critics, the little saboteur in your mind that judges you all the time,
Yeah.
because now at the end of the month you're not able to afford something that actually required those funds. But boy, your nails look bling.
So, I mean, you hit the
You know?
that's that holistic picture of genuinely caring for yourself. And, it does. That's fine. I mean, I'm glad you said finances, because sometimes you think
Yes.
it's not included because it is such a part of life that we need finances for so many different things. But all those areas I think count as because you're living this life, and all those areas touch your life.